Hello everybody, welcome back. I'm Chef Rob. Today we're going to make a vegetable and herb chicken stew. Perfect for going into winter. This will be really hearty, and also serve it with some nice crusty bread with it. First thing I want to do, turn on the burner, put a little bit of olive oil in here, and then we're going to saute up some vegetables. Now when you saute vegetables, always put in your hardest vegetables first because they need the most cooking. So I'm going to start with the carrot. Just going to cut these little ends off here. These are pretty big carrots. Just using one big one. It's peeled, and I'm just going to cut it into like little bite-sized pieces. So if you just take it and make little half moons, but then cut them on the thinner side, just like that. And while you are doing this, your oil is heating, so it'll be ready to go right into the pan. This is a stew that you could make all winter long. Pretty much this one from December through March, I think is really, really good timing. And then you could just turn this over like this. Okay. Now I am just gonna, still needs a second to heat up. I'm gonna take some celery. Celery, to keep it really fresh, just wrap it in aluminum foil. It'll stay really fresh for a good month. Okay. So just cut these little ends off here. Just gonna kind of cut this right down the middle, using 2 stalks of the celery. Again, bite-sized pieces. Almost where you can kind of eat this with a spoon. So I can feel the heat from the oil coming at me right here. So what I'm going to do is take the carrot, start adding that in here, start cooking that. These vegetables will take about 5 minutes to kind of get a little softness to them. I'm going to leave my celery to the side. Now I'm going to take 1 onion, take these little ends off, and just give it a nice chop. And cook that in there with the celery, carrots, and the onion. They use some fresh herbs in this. If you don't have the fresh thyme, the dried would be fine. You're using some fresh basil as well. I like to go almost all the way through, and then turn it. Careful your fingers, and then just kind of give it a nice rough chop. Doesn't need to be small, but bite size. And just turn this. Okay, we're going to add these with the carrots now. Cook these for about 5 minutes. You can use a wooden spoon to just kind of stir this around. Just let this cook. Okay, so these vegetables are getting nice and soft. So what we're going to do is just season them up with a little bit of kosher salt, a little pinch of that, a little bit of fresh ground black pepper, a couple good twists. And now we're going to add a lot of different things in here. We're going to add our chopped tomatoes. So chopped tomatoes, if you can get one of those 14-ounce cans, just add them right in here. You can even use the stewed tomatoes, that would work. Pretty much depends if you like it chunky or not, okay? Mix that around really good. I'm going to add the chicken broth. Chicken broth, I want about 16 ounces of the chicken broth. Put that right in there. You can make your own, or you can buy a store-bought one of the ones in the boxes. Those would be fine. I'm going to add just a couple bay leaves. Maybe like just 1 to 2 bay leaves is fine. And now a little bit of the fresh thyme, or if you only have dried, that would be fine. Dried thyme, want about half of a teaspoon. So just kind of take it right off of the branch just like that and just kind of drop it right in. Gives it a nice lemony, earthy taste to it. Okay, drop that in there. Stir this around just a little bit. Now I want to add in some tomato paste. Okay, this is on the thicker side. So if you have this left over, what you can do is just put it in a little Ziploc bag and freeze it. Typically you never use the whole can. So let's put in our tomato paste, which is about 1 tablespoon. Okay, I'm gonna just kind of bring this to a high temperature. Okay, I'm gonna take some fresh basil from my garden right here. Really, you can really smell it really good. And you're gonna put up to about 1/2 cup of torn basil and just kind of drop it in here. And then we're going to add in our chicken breast. You're using the chicken breast with the rib bones to it. If you want to use the dark meat, the thighs would be fine as well. Okay. Okay, so we're just going to take the chicken breast. I'm using 2 of them with the ribs. And we're just going to drop it in here and let it simmer until it's cooked all the way through. You want it to be cooked through all the way into 165. Okay. So I have my 2 big chicken breasts right here. You want to make sure it's submerged into the stew. For fresh chicken, make sure that when you buy it, when you press down, that it does bounce back at you, because that means it is fresh. Okay, you want it to have a nice coloring to it, nice pinkish coloring. So let's just drop this in here. You want to make sure it's covered all the way. You don't have to put a lid on this, but submerged into this. And let's let this cook. And this will take about 25 minutes. But most importantly is that you put a thermometer in, it's 165. Okay? Okay, so our chicken is done. Let's just take this out, put it onto a platter. Get the other chicken breast. This is a chicken breast with ribs. See the bay leaf in there? So we want to take out those bay leaves. Okay. We're going to let this sit. You can even put it in the refrigerator for a few minutes just to get it cool. As soon as you're able to handle it, then we're going to kind of shred it or just chop it into nice thin strips and put it back into the stew. So right now I'm going to put in some drained kidney beans in here. I'm just going to drop these in here. Now we're just going to let this reduce for about 10 minutes, and then we'll put the chicken back into the pot. So our chicken is cooled. Let's just take the skin off of here. Take that, leave that on the side. We're not going to need that. We're going to take the bone off too. So we're just going to use the meat. Again, make sure there's no pink. Make sure it's cooked all the way through. And we're going to just drop this back into the stew and let it simmer for a little bit. So if there is just a touch of pink, it will finish up. Okay. Really check it to make sure there is no bones around there. Okay. Don't want to get a bone in it. We're going to do our other chicken breast. This will serve about 4 to 6 nice sized portions, and salad, crusty bread on the side would be really good with it. Okay, just put the meat right over here. And then we're just going to start slicing this up. What I like to do is almost like go right down the middle here. Okay. Yep, it is cooked through. And we're just going to simmer it for a few minutes. Get a little thick consistency to it. If you like it to really coat your spoon, what I would do is take a couple tablespoons of flour, a couple tablespoons of water, take a whisk it really well, and then as it is at the boiling point, just drizzle a little bit in there and you'll get that really desired consistency that you may like. If you like it a little bit thinner but hearty, you could always add more carrots, more celery. And as you're even chopping this up, just feel through it that you're not feeling any bones in it. Something hard there, so there was a little something there, so be really careful. I can feel that this is really moist, so it was cooked exactly the way it should. I'm going to drop this in here. So it's nice hearty stew here. And we're going to ladle this into our nice big bowl, and then we can serve it with some crusty bread. So we're going to put this in our nice bowl right now. I want to show you how hearty this is. See, I have a bay leaf in there, so I have to get rid of that guy. Okay, so if you put 1, 2, 3 bay leaves, that would be fine. Just be careful when you're pouring it. You don't want to kind of splatter it against yourself. You don't want to get burned. So you could serve this at the table just like this, and then just kind of have a ladle in it and put it in nice soup bowls. You can garnish it with a little parsley if you like, but this is ready to be enjoyed. So everybody, I hope you enjoyed this class with the vegetable, herb, and chicken stew. Enjoy this all winter long, and thank you for always watching. Bye.
All the clothes are time to dance.